Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about subtracting positive and negative integers. So before we get started, what is subtraction? Well, there's a couple different ways of thinking about subtraction. The way I like to think about it is subtraction just means to take away. So keeping that in mind, let's take a look at this example here. I have 4 minus 2. Again, the way I like to think about it is I'm starting off with 4 positive, 4 of these plus signs, and I want to take away 2 of them. So here are 2. I'm going to drag these away, and whatever's left over is going to be my answer. So I have 2 of these positive left over, so my answer is going to be positive 2. Right? Here's example 1. I have negative 5 minus negative 4. So I'm starting off with 5 of these negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to take away 4 of these negatives. I'm going to take away 4 of these negatives. So I'm going to count 4 of them. I'm going to drag them away. And whatever's left over is going to be my answer. So taking those away, I have 1 negative left. So my answer is going to be negative 1. Okay. Here's example 2. I'm starting off with 8 positives. So I have 8 of these positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want to take away 2 minus signs. Have you seen that we ran into a little bit of a problem? Do I have any minus signs that I can take away? Not really, right? It would be nice if I had 2 of these minus signs. That way I can just drag them away and then figure out what my answer is going to be. But I don't have these minus signs. So a trick that mathematicians came up is something they called adding 0. So how that works is, if I want to have these 2 minus signs in my picture, they have to be balanced out with 2 positive signs. And so the reason why they call this adding 0, all of these are going to cancel out. All of these are going to cancel out, and I'm still left with my starting amount. I'm still left with plus 8. So it's kind of hard to wrap your brains around. So again, take a close look at this picture. Why does this picture still represent 8? All of these are canceling out. I'm still starting off with 8. But what's nice about this version is I can now take away my 2 minus signs. And what's left over is going to be my answer. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my answer is going to be positive 10. Okay, here's example 3. I have negative 3, and I want to take away 7 negatives. So starting off with 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3. And I want to take away 7 of these negatives. So first I'm going to add my zeros. In order to make this 0, all of these have to be balanced out with a positive. That way all of these would cancel out, and I would still have my starting amount of negative 3. And so now I'm going to take away 7 of these negatives. Now, when I take away these 7 negatives, what do I have left over? I have 7 of these pluses left over. So you guys might have seen this trick before, but when I take away negative 7, what's left over is going to be these plus 7s. So I'm going to have these plus 7s left over. And so now I have negative 3 plus 7. These are going to cancel out, cancel, cancel. And what's left over is going to be positive 4. So let's take a little closer look at that negative trick at our last example. So here I have negative 4 take away negative 6. Starting off with 4 negatives. And I want to be able to take away 6 more negatives. So I'm going to add my zeros. Again, the reason why this is still 0, all of these are going to cancel out. I'm still starting off with negative 4. So I'm going to drag away these 6 negatives. And notice what we have left over. I have, after I take away these 6 negatives, I have these 6 positives left over. So what's really happening is I'm changing this into 6 positives. Again, when I take away those negatives, I'm left with a bunch of plus signs afterwards. So I have negative 4 plus 6. These are going to cancel out. And so what left over is going to be positive 2. So the answer is going to be 2. So when we're dealing with these subtraction problems, just remember when we take away negatives, that's the same thing as having a bunch of plus signs left over.